Okay, now, Shaunnie, does this boy have any money, or are you paying all of the bills, including the rent on this little mini mansion y'all been living in? But anyway, hi there. I'm Professor Blackmore, and welcome back to my channel. And I'm just gonna jump right into this today because for me, 1 + 1 just ain't adding up. But before I do, I just want to say that whenever I get on here talking about Pastor Keion and Miss Shaunnie, I have to stop and do a cautionary note to all of the church folk out there who want to clap back in my comments. I mean, y'all act like y'all really know Pastor Keion, like he's God or something. But people, he ain't God, okay? And so if you want to get caught up on what I said about this hot mess fantasy, please don't hesitate to watch my prior videos, wherein you'll also be able to read all of the lovely comments from the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And I'll provide a direct link below in the description section of this video. And I'll come back to the issue of this little mini mansion later. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to go straight to the finances of this little mama's boy. I mean, Pastor Keion. And one thing that I've learned in my over 20 years of law practice experience is that you can find out exactly what property a person owns by looking at a divorce decree in a good old-fashioned southern community property state like Texas. And that is because it's going to list all of the property of each person, whether they owned it prior to the marriage or not. And the divorce decree will provide a judicial pronouncement of which party owns that property as their sole separate property once the marriage is dissolved. And so for any real property or personal property that Pastor Keion owned, whether it was acquired during or before the marriage, will be reconciled in that divorce decree. So it's a good place to go to find out all of the property that he owns actually. And so I'm going straight to this April 19th, 2021, like just yesterday, divorce decree from his divorce from Lady Felecia, which specifies the division of the marital estate to show you that this boy ain't got a pot or a window, Shaunnie. But anyway, people, and quite frankly, I think she knows this boy ain't got no damn money or real property. But anyway, child, here are the 11 items that were identified and decreed as his sole separate property after the divorce was dissolved. And let me just clarify that this boy ain't got no real property whatsoever listed here as belonging to him prior to or after the marriage. And so I'm going to enumerate each one of them for you, church people. And even the saints will have to admit that Shaunnie is taking care of this boy, even after you press send on the comments telling me how messy I am. You'll still have to admit that this boy is so broke that if you rob him, your ass will be in debt. But anyway, and I'm quoting directly from the divorce decree. Number 1, all furniture in his possession over there at that little mini mansion with Shaunnie that he been living in. All clothing and jewelry in his possession. Now get this, 2 Bank of America bank accounts, but after all funds in said accounts are transferred to Lady Felecia. That's crazy. All life insurance policies insuring his life, but get this, people, that is subject to security for monies owed for child support and or spousal maintenance. moving on. And these two life insurance policies were established through Pastor Keion's employment with the Lighthouse Church Ministries. And that's a direct quote from the divorce decree. The 2016 Mercedes GLA 250, all of the benefits of his music deals, book deals, and speaking engagements. Ownership of the company identified as Henderson Management Group LLC, which does not own any real property either to speak of, people. But anyway, his United Airlines miles, his American Express membership rewards, a cashier's check in the amount of $94,000 that was then in his possession, and cash on hand that was then in his possession in the amount of $50,000. Now keep in mind that he is ordered to pay monthly child support at the statutory rate based on his little earnings over there at the Lighthouse Church. And he is also ordered to pay $5,000 per month to Lady Felicia for spousal support until March of 2023. So that's 24 months times $5,000, which equals $120,000. So he basically walked out of there with the shirt on his back and $144,000, of which $120,000 alone will go back to Lady Felicia in spousal support, not to mention child support until the child reaches age 18. Now, in addition to these two items that are awarded as benefits to Lady Felicia, I'll just list a few things that she was awarded. Now, she was awarded this house in Fort Bend County as her sole separate property, which I'm glad, since he walked away from his baby girl for a Hollywood love affair. So I'm glad the child has a safe, stable home. But anyway, reading on, she was also awarded the aforesaid money in those two Bank of America bank accounts that I talked about earlier, totaling $78,000. So he can keep the bank account, the empty bank accounts, which I don't know why he would want to keep them. She knows the numbers, so. But anyway, people, let me stay focused, okay? Lady Felicia is also awarded 100% of the proceeds from the sale of real property located in Humble, Texas, that was sold, leaving proceeds in the amount of $53,099.17. She is also awarded the 2016 Land Rover SUV. She is also awarded ownership in 7 business entities, some of which it was my understanding that Pastor Keion owned prior to the marriage. And so Lady Felicia walked out of that marriage with most of their assets. And I didn't list all of the bank accounts that she walked away with. More than 5, okay? And so when you put it all together, she is his creditor for spousal support until March 2023 and for child support for another 10 years. And so that brings me to this little mini mansion residence that Lady SHAUNIE and Pastor Keion have been living in for a while now. And as you can see from the videos that they post on Instagram, this is the same house here. And now the Harris County tax records reveal that this property is actually owned by a person by the name of John Schisler. So they're renting this property. Now, SHAUNIE, I don't know what happened to the mansion that SHAUNIE owned. She previously owned a mansion in Houston, but I guess she must have gotten rid of that, because if she had it, why would they be renting this little thing here that they staying in? So, but SHAUNIE, I'll say again, as long as he signed that prenup, boo. I hope you have a freaking prenup, Lady SHAUNIE. Because after he spends all of your money, at least you can walk away with something. Because this boy ain't got a pot or a window. But as you know on here, I report and I let the saints and the Sadducees decide. So what do you think? Do you think that Miss Lady SHAUNIE is taking care of this mama's boy? I mean, Pastor Keion? And if you were SHAUNIE, would you want to get mixed up in this ratchet baby mama drama here? Let me know by leaving your comments in the comment section below. And I hope you'll also give me a big thumbs up. And I want to also ask that you please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell so you'll be notified whenever I post another episode of the Professor Blackmore Case Closed Legal Hot Topics vlogcast. And please also follow me on TikTok and Instagram.